That funky music. I like it. This is a cool music bed. Let's get to it. It's our weekly confidence picks for week 12. Week 12, Aaron McIntyre. By the way, I'm Steve Dace. Hello, Aaron. Week freaking 12. My goodness, it does go by fast each and every year. Before we get to this week's picks, give us an update on where things stand.
Yep, so last week, we'll go through your picks. You got Ohio State over Nebraska at the 7th spot, Michigan over Indiana at 6, Iowa, Northwestern at 5, Wisconsin over Rutgers at 4, missed Minnesota over Illinois at 3, missed Michigan State over Purdue at 2, and got Penn State over Maryland at the 1 slot. I got Ohio State right, Wisconsin 6, Penn State 5, Iowa 4, Michigan 3, Purdue 2, and I missed Minnesota over Illinois at the 1 spot, which means
good week.
For I think 3rd or 4th week in a row, I've actually beaten you. I'm not making up ground fast enough, but maybe that'll change this week.
It might. All right, let's get to my picks here for, again, hard to believe, Week 12. I'm going with 6 points for there's only 6 games this week. I'm going to put 6, the maximum amount of points, on Wisconsin, who is hotter than Texas chili right now against a Northwestern team that just, frankly, isn't very good. My 5-point game is Ohio State over Purdue. I think the Buckeyes bounce back. I think Purdue is due actually here for a bit of a letdown after such a big win over Sparty last week. My 4-point game, they're on the road. It's also going to be cosmic because after the college football playoff committee, as I pointed out on Bigger 10 yesterday, ranked Michigan where they should not have. Michigan should not be ahead of Michigan State. This is now where the universe is going to have to step in and correct this error and do so in the cruelest fashion imaginable for Michigan fans, although we're used to it because we know we suck on the road. For 3 points, I'm going to go with Michigan State over Maryland. A little skeptical here because the one thing Maryland does well is the one thing Michigan State does not do well, which is stop the pass. It's just Michigan State's better everywhere else. My 2-point game is Iowa over Minnesota. I can see this one going either way. I think both these teams have very good defenses. Both of them will attempt to play without a quarterback. I think Iowa has better running backs, but not necessarily the better running game. So, and Minnesota also has double revenge here. They've lost 2 years in a row to the Iowa Hawkeyes in this rivalry game.
They've lost since 2014.
Oh,
actually.
Yes, you're right. Correct me. Thank you for correcting me on that. I thought PJ had one win in there, but I guess I was wrong. So I'm going to take Iowa, but I think this one goes down to the wire. And then my 1-point game this week, I have no idea who wins this. Yeah. Rutgers, though, is still quietly playing for bowl eligibility. They need some help, but they can't get that help if they don't win here. So Indiana looked to me against Michigan last week like a team that's just ready for the season to end, and I know what that looks like because Michigan looked like that last year. So I think Rutgers still has a little urine and vinegar in them, and I think they get the dub, but they're on the road, and so you can't take anything for granted there.
Solid analysis. I've got also Wisconsin over Northwestern at the 6th spot. I really don't see how this game could stay close enough for Northwestern to actually sneak anything past the 50-yard line, honestly. At the 5 spot, I've got actually Michigan State over Maryland. I just don't trust. I was thinking about just putting Maryland over Michigan State at the 1 spot just to troll the Sparty fans here. I don't think there are any left, though. I don't think there are any left this week.
Oh, nice.
At the 4 spot, I've got Ohio State over Purdue. I had decided last week I was going to take Ohio State in the points no matter what the line was, and I think based on what you talked about yesterday on the show, kind of a trapped type of line, I think I'm going to do that as well. 4 points on Ohio State. 3, I've got Minnesota over Iowa. As an Iowa fan, I retweeted this from Chris Hassel at CBS Sports, who's also a Hawkeye fan. Felt worse after the Northwestern game than I did after the Purdue game. I mean, Northwestern's defense is the worst in the league. In Iowa, even it was their backup quarterback. Iowa couldn't. I mean, their offensive line is just bad, So
Both of us picking against our favorite teams this week.
Yeah, I just have no confidence that Iowa will be able to sustain much, if anything, against a better defense than Northwestern. And Minnesota is due for one. I think PJ Fleck as well. Just the typical dude's pettiness. I think he's got an axe to grind for how the game ended last year.
Yeah.
With the timeout situation. So I think he wants to beat Iowa too. Question two. Down on the 2 spot, I've got Indiana over Rutgers. Based on this game being at Indiana, I just don't know. It's a coin flip. But even more so, I've got Penn State over Michigan as well. I'm just not sure about that one. I think it's a pick'em now. Started out 2 points in favor of Michigan. Now it's a pick'em. So those are my picks for the week.
All right. We'll see how each one of us does and have the update on next week's Confidence Pick'ems when it will be week 13 as the season winds down single tier. That'll do it for another episode of our Confidence Picks here on Bigger 10. We'll see you next week.